hosted by the Ontario NDP in Scarborough. There I met struggling families left behind by this government, and one story, Speaker, in particular stood out for me. Ingrid is a hard-working single mom relying on food banks to get by. Her son, David, recently graduated from university almost a year ago, and since then he's been applying for job after job, hundreds of them, without a single interview calling him back. Her son desperately needs a job, but with each day passing without any employment prospects, he's slipping into a depression. Will the Premier stand up today and promise David a plan that he will get him working by this summer?
Minister of Finance.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I think that, as the member opposite knows, that this government is very focused on creating the conditions for job growth in this province, Madam Speaker. We're not immune to global forces at play here, whether it's tariff challenges or a global conflict in the Middle East. And that's why, Madam Speaker, we moved early. We moved early on a host of measures, not only the gas tax, Madam Speaker, which is putting more money back in the pockets of people who have to travel, but also on the transit system, where we put the integrated one fare, saving $1,600 for people who use the transit system. And why did we stop there? 407 East, Madam Speaker, in the great region of Durham, as the great member of Durham over there is very focused on this issue.
Response.
Driving affordability for his constituents and taking off the tolls on the 407 East, the 412 and the 418, putting money back in people's pockets.
Member for Toronto Centre.
Thank you, Speaker. The minister's answer shows us that this government has no credible jobs plan. David, unlike the Premier, was not born with a silver spoon. Born and raised in Scarborough, a TMU graduate, David is made of grit, just like his mom. She's been working two jobs since her son was born. After paying for rent for their overpriced one-bedroom apartment, there isn't much left for groceries or anything else. In January, through no fault of her own, Ingrid suffered a serious accident, leaving her in a wheelchair. Now the bills are past due, the landlord and creditors are calling. Instead of hiring employers or losing faith in Ontario, and we are now seeing the shedding of thousands of jobs, what will the Premier do to ensure that David and Ingrid do not lose their homes?
Minister of Finance.
Oh, thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you to the member opposite for raising that important question, Madam Speaker. That is why our government acted early, 3 or 4 years ago, to increase ODSP payments by 5% one time, and then to index it to inflation, so that those payments have gone up over 20%, 22%, Madam Speaker. And there's always more to do, but Madam Speaker, no other government tied those payments to inflation. We're the first government to tie ODSP payments to inflation and index them. Madam Speaker, we didn't stop there with the guaranteed annual income system for low-income seniors. We indexed that to inflation to help them out as well, Madam Speaker.